We're live, man. How you doing?
Welcome back. Welcome back to Unrealized Purpose podcast. And our topic this week is gratitude. And this is something that Isaac struggles with. This is why we're doing it, to help him grow. He's always waking up in a negative mood, really needs to get over himself and just be happier. So that's our
I
this is our discussion today. Is
appreciate
gratitude.
this intervention.
So, anyways, you ever notice? You ever notice you're not that happy, Isaac?
You ever notice that? Yeah, this is a good topic, man. I think when we're talking about gratitude, the word gratuity comes to mind. So, uh, the definition that I have here, man, is the quality of being thankful and readiness to show appreciation for and to return kindness. So it's kind of like an agreement, a way to show your appreciation for, think it could be things in life, people in life, whatever. But I know you go through the Webster's 1828, and my definition is from Oxford Languages, so pretty much just whatever was on Google. Um, what was the definition you've got, man?
Oxford's a pretty good dictionary. Um, Not too bad. The old Oxford, I think, is a pretty good dictionary. But yeah, Noah Webster's 1828 on an emotion of the heart excited by a favor or benefits received, a sentiment of kindness or goodwill towards a benefactor, thankfulness. So it kind of lines up the same way with your definition. Thankfulness and appreciating what's done for you. Um, and I think that word gratuity ties into it really well, because, when you sit down to eat, you're paying. It always asks, you get on the receipt, it says gratuity, how happy are you with your service? And so did we go above and beyond? And then, you're challenged right there to go, okay, how, how grateful am I? How happy was I with the service? Um, and so we kind of have to learn to do that through life and with everything that we receive. Um, and so this topic of gratuity, um, it hits home for me because this is something that I used to struggle with. Used to be kind of pretty negative in a lot of ways, and so I kind of had to figure out why. Well, actually, some people told me, it was just like, you need to be more grateful. Um, and I kind of learned, okay, yeah, there's a lot of things to be grateful for. Um, and there's just a few things that I do throughout the day. We can all get kind of stuck in the rut of negativeness, and in the rut of being unthankful, and ungrateful. And a lot of times it's just because we don't pay attention to the things around us that we should be grateful for. Um, but anyways, any thoughts on that, man?
Well, if we're talking about gratuity, you know, what, and I know tips have become like like a mainstream thing. Every single person, every single company is tipping, like asking for tips. You
Mm-hmm.
know, I understand. I understand tipping people to a degree, but if they're just handing you a coffee out a window, I'm just I don't understand. But anyway, we can move on from that. But like, there's just so many things that are tipping. I feel like every single place is asking for a tip, and they may not even be the one that actually provided the service. Maybe the person in the back made the coffee. They just hand you the coffee. They get a tip. So it's like, I'm not upset at all. but just an observation I've made over the last summer. But
Yeah, I actually had a friend of mine that he said, "Okay, I'm done." He said, "I'm done going to this coffee shop," and I was like, "Why?" And he was like, "Because they literally put a computer screen out the window and asked me if I wanted to leave a tip." And I was like, "Leave a tip?" He was like, "Coffee's the coffee's $6." It's like I ain't leaving a tip for a $6 cup of coffee. It's like that's the reason that coffee is $6 is because it pays for the people inside that work and put it together. It's like if you need to raise the price of the coffee, then raise the price of the coffee, but don't try to. Which this is what a lot of companies do. They try to find a way around um, raising their prices so they can keep their prices the same, but kind of try to guilt trip you to leave a tip. And so
that makes sense.
that's what they do, and it works. That's why they keep doing it. But yeah, I mean, unless somebody goes above and beyond, there's the basic service. You paid $6 for a cup of coffee. That means that they make the cup of coffee, they present it to you, and you receive the cup of coffee. If they do anything more, then you can consider gratuity. Um, but other than that, it's just a normal transaction. Um, and so it's as simple as that. And so I think it's the same thing when you go to restaurants. It's like just anywhere. I mean, I think we all get it. I guess some of us don't, but yeah, it's one of those things you just gotta look at and go, nope, I'm not gonna give you any extra money for no reason. Um,
Yeah.
so
Well, hopefully that gets fixed eventually. But yeah. So gratitude. I know you were talking about where you had some struggles with it, and you've been working on it. Um, and in my life, I think I try to just be more present, and that helps me more present and aware of what's going on around me. Because there's definitely a lot to be thankful for and to appreciate and to just show some kindness for. I think I think a lot of what made me so aware of it growing up is always having a mom and dad over me. Like, did you say thank you for that? You know, just
mm,
rings in your ear.
hmm
But yeah, that. So I shout out to them for always telling me to say thank you for everything. So now I'm absolutely aware of it all the time.
yeah, parents can help you do that. I guess it just depends on the decision that you make, whether you want to be grateful or be upset that you didn't get more, or upset that it wasn't exactly how you wanted it. Especially as a kid growing up, kids have high expectations of exactly how they want things. Um, so until they get older, they start to lower them a little bit. Um, but
You got things growing up?
what's that?
You got things growing up?
Yeah, we got my dad one year got us air. We got to open a box and there was fresh air in the box. It's awesome.
We got to
The
live
best
another
year of
year.
break.
We got
That was
to eat.
wonderful. For
Yeah.
Christmas, we got air, and we got opened up one present, and there was one sock in one. Opened up another present, and there was the left side of the sock. So I got a pair of socks, separately wrapped.
Pretty sure the wrapping paper at that point cost more than the present.
It might have, but that's not the point. The point is how I felt about it. Because I got two
uh,
presents instead of just one present for Christmas. So
yeah. Yep.
no,
It's
but
like, would you rather have two $5 bills or one $50 bill?
two $5 bills or two $5 bills have more. Just kidding.
Yeah, you got more money there. Duh.
I
Two.
got two. Two is greater than one. Um, no, one of the things that I do and I started to learn is and this is probably why I I like to be around people more now. Um, Not just people in general, but people that I get along with, people that get me and I get them. And so I try to think of like the five to start. To start, I think of the five main things um, that that I'm grateful for. So that could be family, that could be friends, be church, it could be your accomplishments, it could be some times in your life, some really peak times in your life that you had. Um, it can be music, it can be all kinds of different things that you're just really grateful for. Um, and family, friends, and church, those all kind of tie together for me. So my most of my friends are my family, and most of the people that I go and hang out with at church are my family also. So treat them just like family, and so that's uh, that's always good to remember that the relationships that we have, and remember the good times and the joy that others bring us, and it will definitely help us to start to pay attention to the good things in life, and to be more grateful, and to be have more gratitude towards things. I think you kind of said it there with your parents. They were constantly telling you, did you say thank you for that? Did you see this? They're encouraging you to be grateful, to acknowledge that it's undeserving. Um, but dwell on the main positive things in your life, and then ask yourself, uh, how can I make this relationship or thing that gives me gratitude and happiness more prevalent in my life? And that's a good question to ask, because a lot of times we'll find that we're wasting our time um, in situations that we know are going to just tear us down, and we need to spend more time with the people that build us up, or the situations that build us up, rather than the ones that are going to tear us down. And so that's one key thing, is position yourself correctly. And so, but do you have anything that you do that you kind of, um, I don't know, this is something that I do that helps me to continue to be grateful, and keep a positive attitude?
I think the biggest thing for me is just realizing that everything I have, I don't like, even though I may have earned it, I don't like. I guess just being grateful for what I have always helps me, because tomorrow it could all be gone, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So be thankful for what you have now and grateful for it, because I mean, sure, you own it in a sense, but it could all be taken away so quickly, you know. Um, so being present helps me out, and then also just remembering that what I have, even though I may have worked hard for it, it still isn't mine. You know, you can't take it with you in the end. The government could come in and change the rules. You know, it's like it, and then it's not yours. You know, so I guess back when I first got married, like 3 or 4 years ago, dude, we had nothing, like literally nothing. Nothing. I wasn't even like, when we got engaged, dude. I didn't have a job. Was how much of a nothing that we had. So
You told me
it
about
was it was a difficult time for a while, you know. So you work hard, and just any little bits of extra that you got, you just learn to appreciate it more. And those periods last for a while, so we're slowly building up, of course. But yeah, that helps me out, man.
that. Yeah, I remember you telling me about that, because you Yeah, that was fun. It's a fun conversation. But yeah, so one is be grateful for the things that you have. Take a minute, think about the five main things, healthy things that you're grateful for. Um, Number two, this is one that really just throughout the day, if you do this, dude, your whole attitude changes. You just if for me every single day, if I just focus on this, I'll have a good day. I mean, I'll stay positive throughout the day, and that is don't forget about the small things in life. So many times we go through our day and we completely forget about like the small little things here and there that we don't really deserve. We didn't work for them or anything, but they're just there and they're there every day. Um, Now, one of the small things that I wrote down, um, this one you will probably have to pay for, but it's as simple as enjoying a piece of pie. Um, Literally, if I'm sitting down with just a piece of pie and a cup of coffee, I'm a pretty happy dude. It doesn't take much anymore to make me happy. So just that little tiny slice of heaven, and I'm good to go. Um, but realizing that the small things, just some of the things that during the summertime, it can be different for everybody. But one thing is birds chirping, the smell of the rain, the leaves flowing through the air, the smell of fresh cut grass or flowers, the small amount of heat on your back from the sun during a cold day. All of these things we go through the day not paying attention to that are just given to us for free of no cost. There's so much to be grateful for. Um, and I think it's focusing on a lot of the things like that bring us back to a attitude of gratitude. And for me, that one is huge. You would think like the first one's huge for me, and it is. It does. It definitely powers me up. Um, but that second one, just paying attention to everything that's around you, and acknowledging that it's there for you for free, um, and you didn't have to do anything for it. It's definitely something that we're obligated to be grateful for. But are there some things like that you go throughout your day and you're just like, that's nice.
Yeah, I think one of the biggest things for me, and it's definitely more recent in the last year, is the sunrise and the sunset, man.
Mm,
Like it's something about just seeing that every morning or at night, and especially like all the colors, like just brings you back. Like, you're, it's like you could be facing your phone and then you see that and it's just like, oh man, that is way cooler than your phone or whatever is going on. So I have a habit of like I always take pictures and videos. If I see a sunset and it's like, oh man, this needs to be on camera. So I always take a video or whatever. But yeah,
yeah, I
yeah,
love that.
that's one of my small things that I
The
enjoy.
sunrise and the sunset. That's awesome, and especially in Kansas, because I know the sunrises in Kansas are freaking beautiful. I have a picture of a couple of them. One day I got up and went out, and dude, I kid you, I'll share the photo afterwards. I might post the photo or use it as the thumbnail for this. But it looks like there's fire in the sky. I mean, it is so beautiful.
Dude, yeah,
It it is awesome. But yeah, I mean, there's another perfect good thing: a sunrise, sunset. It can be a smell. It can be something that you see every morning, something that you hear, something that you feel. It could be any one of those things, and it's important for us to just grab onto that and be grateful for it because like you said, tomorrow it could be gone. So you might as well be grateful for it today. Um, so don't forget about the small things in life. Enjoy the little things. Um, Reflect on things that you take for granted. Um, and I kind of want to leave this thought left wide open. to think on some things, or I want it to be open to think on some things or people you fail to properly appreciate. Um, so not to be cliche, but life is short. Life is too short for us to not be an encouragement to one another or lift one another up by the way of words. And we shouldn't just be going around throwing out useless words, but make sure that your words are truthful and that they're meaningful. Um, and I think that's one of the key things. Um, and one way that we can show that we're grateful is by letting others know that we are grateful for their presence or for what they've done in our life. And that one right there is not only a challenge, but it also helps us to continue to be grateful and in an attitude of gratitude. Um, but any thoughts on that?
No, that's a good point, man. Um, I think the big thing for me, yeah, is to appreciate people more. I get so focused on life sometimes, in general, that you forget the people around you that actually make it special. Because, screw it, yeah, be cliche, but like at the end of the day, you know, if if we all didn't agree that money had value, the actual thing that has value, that would be each other and people and relationships. So something I need to work on for sure, a lot more.
Yeah, definitely. Like when crap hits the fan and your money isn't worth anything, what's going to be worth it is the relationships that you made, um, the things that you grew, your accomplishments. All of that's what's going to have value. Um, if the world falls apart tomorrow, which is looking more and more like that, but you've got you've got to have those things that keep you going. Um, you look at time eras like the Great Depression, and you look at suicide, just things that people did not throw away. They realized the value in little simple things. Um, you can still find a few of those people today, or I think you can still find a few of those people today from the Great Depression. You'll go into their garage and you'll see that they throw nothing away, um, because at one point in time, everything that they had was of value, and they were grateful that they had it. And if you wanted something from them, you traded. It didn't come free, but definitely a way to look at that. Um,
Yeah.
but number 4 here, that I had written down, is acknowledge that, in whatever belief system you have, but acknowledge that your creator owes you nothing. But that your creator gives you so much that it is impossible to be grateful for everything that has been given. So just in alone, life, being able to live, being able to enjoy the things, just the normal things on earth, as far as, the grass, the birds, the trees, all of that is given of no work at all that we have put out to make that possible. And so there's so many things to be grateful for in that aspect. Is make sure that you're grateful towards your creator, because they owe you. It owes you nothing. The earth owes you nothing. But then lastly, and I think this one's important too. I think we both agree on this one, is expressing gratitude is as important as well. Because if we don't express our gratitude, we're not going to stay grateful for very long. So when you speak your gratitude, it shows others that you acknowledge the level of energy and effort that they have given to you. and it encourages healthy relationships with those around you. This is a key component. And if you want to test this out, go ahead and test it out with a single friend and see how long that friend starts to. Um, if you're not grateful to that person, you'll see very quickly that that person will start to put distance from you because you're not grateful to them for what they're doing, for the energy or the effort that they're putting in. You'll see very quickly that they'll start to distance from you and distance from you, or you'll have a very weak relationship. It'll be much a you scratch my back, I scratch your back type of relationship. Um, and it'll probably get to the point where it's like, okay, if I'm going to scratch your back, you're going to scratch my back at the same time. So, um, type of deal, because there's no trust in just the simplicity um, of expressing how grateful you are for what they did. And so,
Yeah.
I think that's one key thing there. But you look like you have a thought
Hmm.
on this.
No, I mean, I think in summary of what you just said, I think, and this is one of the notes that I had taken, was that like life and gratitude is a two-way street, you know? So, and we had talked about this on a few episodes ago, where it's like you give and it shall be given. If you're thankful to your friends, and this is something my wife and I have recently started doing more, is like she'll do something around the house or I'll do something, and we'll just say thank you to each other and just really mean it. And I've noticed recently we're doing it a lot more. So it's like we're building a little bit of a momentum of just appreciation, you know? And it started from one person. I think it was her, honestly. She started saying thank you for things a little bit more. And I was like, oh, this is, and maybe I just picked up on it. And as she does things, I started saying thank you a lot more. So, uh, you know, like you had said, you in relationships with your friends, you know, if you're always asking for something and never giving, you're not going to have that friend for long. So if if you want to be rich in life or in business, you want to give as much value as you can. You help others succeed, and you do that by giving them value, helping them win. And in the end, you win as well. Whether that's because they pulled you up alongside with them, other people recognized your value and decided to pay you a lot to help them get successful as well in certain areas, or add value to their what they're building, you know. So it it definitely is all over the place of just that give without expectation to a degree, but nonetheless give, and eventually it'll come back.
Yeah, I think I heard I can't remember what his name was, but he said a statement like this, and there is definitely some truth to this statement, and then also definitely a caution to this statement. Um, but if you're not willing to give more than what you were required to do, you're not going to move up very quickly in business. Um, and normally when you sit down to work for somebody, they it's a contract. They have a written agreement of what they're requiring you to do. So you do what's required, but then if you go above and beyond, and you are just a joyful person and decide, hey, you know what, I got everything done. I'll go ahead and do this extra just for them, so it makes their life a little easier. That right there is doing a little more, and then obviously there will be gratitude for that. But then also you got to be careful that you don't run into those people that abuse your willingness to do more, um, and never give you the proper accreditation for it. So there's a good balance there. But I do
Right.
strongly believe that is when you go into a workforce, like you have to, you want to go above and beyond, to get the job done. But
Yeah. I think it's a a good thing to notice as well. It's like there's the difference between when people like you don't want to give and give and give to someone who's only using you for what you give. So
Right.
um, yeah, so definitely be aware of that, because for some people it is just like built into them to where they just, if you give, they're just going to take. They're never going to give back. So just be conscious of that, for sure.
Yeah.
And I think that just
Yeah.
comes with living, and living a life
Yeah.
you recognize.
Yep.
But yeah,
That being said, with everything that I've mentioned, these things here, um, these definitely help me out a whole lot in just keeping a positive attitude and being grateful throughout the day. Things that I do every day. Um, but I believe that if you're doing all these things on a daily basis, um, it will cultivate the soil. Cultivate means to till up, to make ready for a seed to be planted. So it'll cultivate the soil of your attitude, and it'll grow a beautiful character in you as well as others around you into being grateful for everything this life has to offer. Um, and I truly do believe that if you do some of these things, um, and not only that, you'll attract then more grateful people. Um, and those ones that aren't grateful, they'll be there, but you'll be able to spot them out. Um, and with each and every one of us, we want to help others. So make sure you have the best encouragement and help that you can give those people that are lacking in that area, or going through a rough time and they're having a tough time seeing what to be grateful for. So, but I definitely think that it just those things right there. If we do those few things, that'll create a joyful character that people want to be around. So
yeah, yeah. I think you summed that up perfectly. Yeah, definitely the more appreciative you are, people can tell that, and it makes your life better, makes their life better. People like being around happy people, or people that are positive, you know. So,
yeah.
and
Did you have any Did you have any quotes or anything that you like, that have to go along with gratitude?
uh, not really, but there's this one that we could wrap it up with, and I thought it kind of stood out to me. It was a tweet, and it's kind of funny that like I go on Twitter to find some topic research just to pull ideas and stuff. Um, but anyway, it's by an account called Words of Wisdom. It says gratitude eliminates worry, grief, and depression, and brings happiness, kindness, compassion, understanding, and peace of mind. Because maybe because gratitude is essentially making it not about you, being thankful for what you have, and then making it not about you. So then, in a way, it does eliminate all those things, right? Um, but anyway, I liked that tweet, because if you're focusing on other people, how can you focus on yourself? So then it technically does eliminate all those. So yeah, that's what I got, man.
Yep, I love that, and that's absolutely 100% true. Um, and actually, if you talk to medical doctors and stuff, people that are gratitude have people that are happy and are more grateful and thankful, um, are and you can post or comment if you think this is incorrect, but tend to, under the same circumstances, tend to have better health if you just have a happier and better positive attitude. Because if you're down in the ditch, that's where exactly what you said, anxiety, worry, all those things weaken you. They cause you to get depressed, in a state of depression, and mentally and physically will weaken you.
Yep.
So having a positive and being grateful for things that other people can't touch is awesome.
Yep.
I love that quote. It's a great quote. Yeah. I had 2 quotes here at the end, short quotes that go right along with that. Gratitude turns what we have into enough. So remember that. And then the last one is strive to find things to be thankful for. That's always good. The more you strive for that, the stronger the plant becomes in the soil. So the stronger your gratitude will stand out. And so,
Yeah, I love that. Good way to wrap up the episode right there, man.
yeah,
I'm definitely gonna be more conscious of this in the next week, and as I write the newsletter out, I think I'm gonna learn a lot more too as well. So, anyways, man, great talking to you, and we'll see everyone next week.
as always.